Awesome. So welcome to Private Practice 101. I will actually share the screen right now and we will get started. And you guys will have to let me know how it looks because my dog broke my second screen. So I only have one screen today. Everyone see it okay? Okay. So today we're doing Private Practice 101. And believe it or not, now is an awesome time to start your own business. Gosh, one of my coaches today, we were on a call and I had said something about, do you think it'll ever run out of not being a lot of therapists wanting to start their own business? And he kind of laughed at me. But anyways, he's like, now's a great time to start your business. And there's been articles lately about why now is such a good time to start your business. And in all of the different areas, but I see it, well, it's even in kids. I personally, since I work with older adults, they need us now more than ever in that home environment. But I can say the same thing for kids as well. Even my son is on the struggle bus with this virtual school in and out and all the stuff going on. I mean, he could use some occupational therapy to help him in a wide variety of areas. So great time to start your own practice. So today we're going to talk about what are the 15 basic steps. And a lot of us on here were the ones that actually, and plus some other OT entrepreneurs were the ones that actually kind of put together this checklist. So the first thing we're going to do is go over that checklist. And then we're going to do introduction. So instead of introducing everyone at the beginning and then them reintroducing themselves, I'll just do a brief introduction of myself so you know who's talking. And then each one of them is going to share their personal story and you'll get to learn a lot from them and everything that they have done over the past few years. So welcome and we will get started. And I promised Alicia I would get through this in less than 30 minutes. So keep a time on me here. So objectives tonight: to learn and understand the 15 steps you need to be successful in starting your own private practice. Number 2, to learn how other successful private practice owners decided on their niche and avatar. 3, to learn how you can start your own private practice with less stress, more confidence, and actually save money. And then afterwards, all participants will receive a copy of the startup checklist and business plan, as well as the recording of this. So you will get that. So our success is because of those we surround ourselves with. So for those that do not know me, I guess I didn't officially say who I was. My name is Kara Welke. I'm an occupational therapist. Been one for 21 years, and I started a business a few years ago, and I have a mobile Med B practice. It's a hybrid practice where I see older adults in the home, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Just one second. Hi, dear. My daughter just got home and she went in the ditch. So it's been a little traumatic afternoon for her. Anyways, so we will get started. Step 1. So take some notes. The very first thing you guys need to do is determine your niche, or you might hear a lot of people talking about avatar. What is the main niche that you want to focus on, or who is your ideal client? And you really want to start narrow, and then you can always expand. And be sure, to review your State Practice Act. Think about what is your clinical expertise, who can you best serve, figure out what areas that you're most passionate about. Now, and we'll get into the step 1 in a little bit in more detail because this is where everyone's really going to focus today. I know we have all different disciplines here tonight. I always think that as OTs, we try to do it all. I know I have done that and it hasn't worked very well. So if you can really narrow it down and start and focus on a certain area or niche, it's going to be so helpful for you and to make things easier as you go on. And one of our coaches taught us, he said, think of someone, think of your ideal avatar. Who would that be? Think of one person or one type of client that you would like to treat for the rest of your life. Who would you get the best results for? And who could pay you? And think about that and try to figure out your ideal avatar from that area. So if you guys can write in the chat section, what is your ideal client, your ideal avatar? That is really important place to start. So if there was that one client that you would see for the rest of your life, because you would love to, and you know you're the best at treating that person, who is that person? If you can write that down, that would be great. Then we can kind of see where you guys are at. So after you determine your niche and avatar, then you need to determine how will you get paid. Are you going to be all cash based? Or are you going to bill insurance? Or are you going to do a hybrid model? And I will tell you, when I started, I love to see all your avatars. This is perfect. I will tell you, when I started, I was only going to be cash based, because when you are on Facebook world, you see all of these people talking about how cash based, that's, the best way to go, so forth. So that's what I was going to do. And then I realized that didn't fit with my avatar. So next thing I want you guys to put in your chat section is, how do you want to get paid? Do you want to be strictly private pay cash? Or do you want to take insurance? Or do you want a hybrid where you do insurance and cash? Let us know where you're at on there. And then you need to determine how you will provide services. Are you going to be a mobile practice? Are you going to be a clinic? Are you going to be a virtual? Or are you going to be a combination? Ooh, I love seeing all your guys' answers come in. This is awesome. So tell us what you guys think. I know for me, I knew I was going to do mobile. I didn't want to deal with a clinic, and mobile is just the most cost effective for me. But we have a lot of people in our programs that are mobile with the goal of having a clinic. And I mean, you'll hear today, we have some people that have their clinics that will be on the panel and do a variety of different things. So it doesn't have to be just one. Okay, awesome. So once you get those things figured out, your niche/avatar, how you're going to get paid, and determine how you will provide those services, then you need to start working on your business plan, which we will send you a copy and you can start working on that. But set long-term goals and create short-term goals to help you get there. And most importantly, get started. If you're familiar with the Next Level OT podcast, one of the biggest things that people say on that podcast, because I have OT entrepreneurs on there, and one of the biggest things is they say they wish they would have started sooner instead of waiting so long. Okay, so that's step one. Step two, start establishing relationships in your community. You need to know if you have a population to serve. Before I even submitted my business registration and did all of that, I met with people. I talked with a wide variety of people because I wanted to make sure that there was a population to serve and that I was going to have clients. Step two, name your business. And oh my goodness, we know people that are stuck in this step for over a year. We had a post in our group, Next Level Occupational Therapy, last week. And some people were saying that they've been stuck on their name for years. Just come up with your name and move on through. And we can always help you with that. And there's some things when you are coming up with your name that you want to think about. And you want to make sure you check with your Secretary of State to make sure your name is available and all that kind of thing. But try not to get stuck on that. Step four, determine what type of business is appropriate for you. So in some states, you have to establish a PLLC versus other states you can have an LLC. Some states you have to have an S Corp. So it's really important to know what you are required to have in your state. How many of you on here right now that haven't started yet know what kind of business you need to establish in your state? Because I have found that a lot of people, have no idea about this. So it is good. I mean, it depends. In North Dakota, it was super simple to start my business. In other states, it's a lot more difficult. It really just depends on the state. So it is good to work with an attorney or an accountant to make sure you set up your business appropriately. Also, it's important to know that some states, OTs cannot be 100% owner and hire PTs. Like for instance, in New York, as an occupational therapist, I cannot hire PTs to work for me unless they are part owner of my business. So there's some different legalities that you need to be aware of when you start your business. So, okay, good. Some people know kind of what they need to do. Great. So once you get, make sure you know and understand what kind of business you can start. Then you move on to step 5, which is register your business in your state. And you can go to your state business website for details. You can work with your attorney or accountant to make sure it's established correctly. It's really important that you know what you're doing to make sure you have it established correctly from the start. After you get your business established, then you're going to go ahead and register for your tax ID number or EIN number. And there's a link here that you can go ahead and click on, and that's a really simple process to complete. After that, you usually go and establish your business bank account. One thing that I didn't do right away is I didn't get a separate credit card because I like to travel. I thought, well, I'll just use my personal credit card to rack up the miles for airlines, but I'll keep it separate. That was a nightmare. So get your business bank account established. Get a credit card for your business or a debit card and keep things separate and organized from the start. Sorry, that would be my dogs. After you get your bank account set up, then it's really important to set up a system to track your business expenses. And I guess I kind of talked about this before, but we have examples of Excel spreadsheets that you can utilize, or you can use QuickBooks or Xero. There's tons of other different resources you can use. ProfitU is a course that we have a lot of people utilize in our programs. When I started, I used QuickBooks, but I switched over to Xero. With that, it just worked much better with my accountant and bookkeeper and so forth. Step 9, find a good professional liability insurance company. There are a lot of different ones out there, and if you guys don't know all the different ones, feel free to message us, or we have some posts on our Facebook groups with a variety of them. But check around. Don't just go with the first one. Today in one of our meetings, one of our members said that hers was $600. And then after she realized that that was overpriced, she went back, and once she got what she really needed, it was $300. So you want to make sure you check around and get appropriate insurance to cover you, and make sure you have that before you see your client. But you don't have to get it set up so far ahead of time that that you are paying for it before you need it. So I can chime in later in California. California is a different ball of wax itself. That doesn't even make sense, but whatever. Okay. Step 10. Determine how you will document and bill. So if you're doing cash-based services, there's tons of systems out there. We have an EMR document. I can go ahead and send that out too when I send out the business startup and the business plan and all of that. But we have an EMR system review more than one. I'd say review a few of them and find a system that really fits well for you and your practice. For cash-based services, Erin and Alicia will talk on here. They use Simple Practice, and I know they love it. I know a lot of people who've created their own and just use G Suites. Hello Note is one that we use in our programs. Insurance-based services, again, you need to review a variety of EMRs. Don't sign up for these until you're set up to take your clients, because you don't want to start paying for these until you have to. And make sure the EMR has all the features you need, but not ones that you're getting billed for that you're never going to use. And for me, having an EMR system where I can just go and do my note, click a few buttons, and it sends everything to the insurance companies, and then I get paid in my bank account, makes a wealth of difference than if I had to try to do everything manually. But there is a wide range of prices out there. So just go ahead and, check them all out. There's new ones coming up. I just had someone reach out to me recently that wanted to come in to our group and talk about a new one that is being developed. So always new ones coming out. And then you need to, step 11, you need to set up a system so you will get paid. And obviously this is going to depend on your business, cash-based or insurance. With cash-based, set up a program such as Stripe so you can take credit card payment, to get paid prior to providing the services. Insurance, I always put this in all my presentations. FYI, you cannot opt out of Medicare if you are working with Medicare clients and provide services that Medicare covers. We can talk about that later. But if you're gonna bill insurance, you want to get started on the insurance credentialing right away. Actually, Medicare has been a lot faster since COVID than it was before, which is interesting. But some insurances can take a long time to get everything set up, and you don't want to be seeing clients if it's not set up and they think you're billing their insurance and so forth. So it's really important to get your system set up and in place. So once you're ready to see clients, you're going to get paid right away. And if you take insurance besides Medicare, Medicaid, and TRICARE, you're going to want to register for CAQH first. And there's a link for that, and it will be included in the list you get. Step 12, create a logo, design your business card, create a website. Not till later in the process. And again, we see so many people get stuck in this area. I didn't have a business card nor a website for well over a year into my business, and I've been successful, no problem. I still don't even use my website, but for my home therapy business. So don't get stuck on this area again. And you don't have to spend a ton of money with your logo and so forth. Canva, if you don't know what Canva is a wonderful tool to help you create your own logo and business card and so forth. And lots of different options out there for websites as well. Okay, you guys let me know if there's anything in the chat that, okay. And then step 13, work on marketing plan. And really, you should start, remember way back in step 2 when I said start developing relationships or get out in your community and see if there's a need. You really want to start that marketing plan right there. And then, but when you're working on your marketing plan, you need to determine how to best serve your clients and provide value. You need to make sure that you are the best problem solver for your avatar. So you need to know what your avatar's problems are, and you need to show how you are able to solve those problems. And you're going to need to determine how you are going to reach your avatar. And you need to figure out how you're going to establish relationships so people know and trust you. Do not just send out emails and letters and things like that. I mean, what do we do what do you guys do? Everyone put in the chat section. When you get a letter in the mail and you don't know who it's from, what do you do with it? Let me know what you do with it. Yeah, throw it away. Don't waste your money doing that, you guys. We don't look at it. Why would we expect anyone else to do it? Okay. So there's so many better ways to go about marketing your business, and you really need to know how you can establish those good quality relationships so people trust you and want you to be their problem solver. Step 14, make sure you have the appropriate forms in place. You need to create, as far as forms, what HIPAA, privacy practices, informed consent, email policy, fee agreement. If you are a Medicare provider, you have to have a Medicare compliance policy, code of conduct, safe patient handling. There's tons of different policies and procedures, and we see most everyone not having anything out there in this regard, or they create forms just off of someone they found off the internet. Like my attorney was like, no, this is not okay. And it's expensive to work with an attorney to get things set up. I mean, my policy and procedure manual, after I worked for months on it, cost me over $10,000 to get that puppy approved per my attorneys. And no one should have to spend that much. That's ridiculous, which is why we provide examples and why we sell some of our materials as well. But you do want to make sure you're in compliance with everything and have the proper forms that you need. Also, agreements and contracts. If you contract with different agencies, if you decide to have independent contractors or employees, that brings on a whole nother ballgame. And you want to be thinking of this from step number 1 in your business plan. What is everything going to look like? What are all the different things that you're going to need? And step number 15, once you're finished with steps 1 through 14, you're able to start your practice and you need to continue to serve your clients, provide value, and show your value. So I think, did I make it, Alicia, in the time frame? Oh, close. So right now, what we're going to really focus on is step 1. The key to your success is really figuring out your niche, your avatar, and how to get that first step and move on to steps 2, 3, and 4. So now we're going to learn from all of these amazing, successful private practice owners, and you'll learn how they decided on their niche, their avatar, and what their first step was in their practice. So let me click on, and we'll start with Alicia.
Hey guys, I'm Alicia Colmar, and Kara was nice enough to rush through this so I could be on it because this is my bedtime. I'm on the East Coast. So I have a business called Apex Occupational Therapy in North Carolina, and I have several school contracts. I have been increasing those steadily over the years, and I do individual and group therapy in pediatrics at my office. I do a little bit in schools, like preschools, and in homes as well. But I started out cash-based, and I've recently decided to try taking some insurance. So I've been doing that for almost a year just to see how it goes. But cash-based has mostly worked well. My niche is self-regulation, social skills, anxiety, and probably even the kids that come to me for self-regulation and social skills end up having so much anxiety. That's, I think, more than anything what I do. I do group therapy in all those areas, and as well as individual. And my avatar is not so much the the area that I address as much as the clients who are invested in their therapy. So parents who really want to come to therapy and they come on a regular basis and they don't no show and they collaborate with me and they show and they carry over and they tell me what works and what doesn't work and they so your avatar is not just the people that your diagnosis. It's the people that you actually want to work with. So that is, I'm not going to keep this long because my brain stops working about this hour, but that's basically what I'm offering in my business. And I've been in practice for, I've been an OT for 21 years, like Kara, and had my practice for now 6 years, a little over 6. And Chelsea's ready for bed too, so we can move on to her.
Hey everybody. Yes, Alicia and I are over here on the East Coast, and for sure, I think I turned into a pumpkin around this time. So um, I appreciate you guys having us in your homes tonight and taking up some of your time. So I started my journey about a year ago. So when Kara talks about finding your niche, I am not the person to follow that model. So don't look here. I started in geriatric practice because I love personally geriatric practice. Um, and I started in contract home health services, and then I expanded into mobile outpatient Med B with after joining Next Level and working with Kara. I have a concentration in assisted living facilities and memory care. I've developed a few programs to really help. I really struggled with marketing at first, and I really was not super comfortable being able to go in and sell myself. I really struggled with that. So I had these programs that I had been using in my own clinical experience, and I essentially started marketing them. And calling it something so that I could get ALFs and PCPs to understand the value of myself and my clinicians. I have OT, PT, and speech in that practice. About halfway through last year, though, the pandemic hit, and I have a son who is medically complex. The reason that I stayed away from peds for so long was because it hit so close to home, and it was difficult for me. However, when the pandemic came, I really recognized that there was this really severe lack of mobile outpatient pediatric services in my community. It killed me that I looked around and was unable to find somebody for my son. So I was like, all right, there's no way we can handle this. So we ended up simultaneously developing our mobile outpatient practice for peds. Um, this is completely cash based, and we do have some single case agreements for some of the Medicaid kiddos that are really medically complex. On that practice, we really do attract more of the medically complex children. We have trach vent kiddos, tubies, and all kinds of like really amazing cases. So it's been super rewarding, really, really cool. And I get to help parents advocate, which to me is a slam dunk because that's what I love to do. And we've been really working with our community and building support, and the parents have really been asking for, you know, a really a play-based clinic, a small play-based socially motivated clinic where their kiddos who were medically complex could see other children like them. And so actually just in the past like couple weeks we've been able to locate a space and established that we will be opening a clinic in the next probably like 120 days. So we're super excited about that. I'm excited for my own son to be able to see other kiddos who look a lot like him. And to be able to have some play and kind of pull them out of this COVID slump that they've been in. So when Kara really like came to me and I really figured out like what helped me to get through this year, opening a business in the pandemic and then deciding to start another project is it's a lot. But I will say that if you're surrounded by the right people, you can truly do anything if you're motivated by the right things. So for me personally, I love geriatric. I'm a CDP, certified dementia practitioner. I love working in ALFs, but my child is also a huge passion of mine as well. And so if your heart is in the right place and you surround yourself with the people from the Next Level Clinic and people like Kara who can help guide you and keep you on track and not let you get too discouraged during some of the downtimes, it's really an amazing group of people to be around. And I would just say, if we can all do it during a pandemic, anybody can do it. You can definitely do it.
Awesome. Thank you, Chelsea. And I will say, yes, Chelsea has done it all, but man, not many people can do it like Chelsea can do it either. So you guys should check out the podcast interview with Chelsea, and you'll learn even more about all she's done and how amazing she's been able to do with her businesses.
Oh, thanks, Kara.
Okay, Rachel.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel. I own Day by Day Home Therapy. That's the practice that has been around longer. And I also own the Dementia Collaborative. They go hand in hand, but I had a couple of reasons for deciding to split those two businesses up. Day by Day Home Therapy. I was one of those people that I had my niche first, and then I decided to build a practice around that. So I've just always had a passion for working with older adults with dementia. I started working with older adults with dementia when I was 14. And I always say the stars just kind of aligned for me. I wanted to be an OT since I was in 7th grade. I ended up going and doing projects in undergrad on something called the Environmental Skill Building Program, which is today called Skills to Care. I ended up going to grad school at what I call the birthplace of Skills to Care, which is Jefferson, and ended up getting the privilege of working for Jefferson Elder Care after graduation, doing Skills to Care. So my life has just, all kind of worked out that I got to work with people with dementia along the way. The passion only grew stronger and stronger. And I really just kind of saw, current Jefferson student, I saw the need in the community for supporting people with dementia in their homes, supporting care partners and how to care for someone with dementia, and really just wanted to figure out a way to do it that was a bit more sustainable for myself in terms of my life. I was doing this type of work through grant funds and knew that that just wasn't a forever job. So my first attempt was actually to take this program, Skills to Care, and to pitch it to local places in the community. So I'm outside of Philadelphia. And a lot of people were actually very receptive, but they kept saying, we'll talk about it next year or next time we have a budget meeting. And I just didn't want to wait. So anyway, that's how I developed Day by Day Home Therapy. I knew I wanted to work with this population and do this work. So I built the practice around that. I did have some experience with Med B. So, that's how I wanted to build it. I have these pictures on here because that is actually my grandmother and both of her sisters. So my great aunts at the bottom, that's Norma Day, Jerry Day, and Doris Day. And so their maiden name was Day. They all passed away with dementia. So that's why I named my practice Day by Day Home Therapy. So it's in their honor. The Dementia Collaborative, that one just started about a year ago. I do a lot of presentations out in the community. I love to do trainings and educational seminars, and I actually run the Skills to Care training. So I decided to develop the Dementia Collaborative just to house those educational seminars. And we're very, very excited that we can now license the Skills to Care program. So the Dementia Collaborative now is the place to go if you want to get Skills to Care certified, which I'm thrilled about this. So we're just launching our first group of Skills to Care OTs to go through the Dementia Collaborative this Friday. So hopefully it goes well. Yeah, I hope that answers some of your questions. Oh yeah, I see Jeannie on the panel. I did name it after my family.
Yes, I love how Rachel came up with her name. It's perfect.
Thank you. And Kara, if you want to jump in about anything about Skills to Care, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, we'll touch more. We'll touch even more based on. You guys, you just got to bear with me here. We will touch more base. I can't think tonight. We'll talk about Skills to Care more in a little bit. Erin, let's move on to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Erin Lindberg. Thanks for hopping on tonight. We know you probably all had a very busy day and are ready for bed as well. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself first, and then it kind of segues into how I got to where I got. I'm a wife and I'm a mom of 3. I also have one furry little critter, and I love traveling and exploring Earth's beauty. And this comes a little bit into play, so that's why I'm sharing that. I've been an OT for 20 years. I began my college career actually as physical therapy major, and I was fulfilling my shadowing hours in a rehab and working in an inpatient rehab center. And that's where I really became intrigued by OT. Reason being because of the holistic nature of it. I really loved the mind and the mind-body connection. So I actually switched my major to OT. And early in my OT career, I actually grew up working as a companion aide. I started as a companion aide. I wasn't old enough to be a CNA, so I entertained residents with dementia. So I'd make sure they wouldn't wander. They put me in the chapel with all these residents. And then when I became a CNA, I worked as a CNA all through high school and college. So when I first got out of college, that's what I did. I became a dementia management champion, and I helped build dementia programs in nursing homes. But I found that I was burning out, and I quickly got into management, but I really enjoyed what I did. But then it was not until I developed severe anxiety that I had a holistic treatment called John Barnes myofascial release. And that's when I started my holistic OT career. It was truly life-changing for me. And that's really when I became passionate about facilitating whole body healing, not only physically, but mentally, spiritually, and socially. And a few years after that, I actually integrated the holistic approach into women's health therapy or pelvic floor therapy after overcoming a severe tailbone injury. So up here in Minnesota, we have a lot of snow. And I went down a flight of stairs with snowy boots on my tailbone. So that's how I got into actually women's health. I actually started my journey when I was 16 weeks pregnant, and I took my first course. And it wasn't initially a passion of mine. It's not something that I was going to do until I came home from Sedona when I got treated for my tailbone injury, pain-free. And I knew that there were so many women out there desperately needing what I had gotten, relief. So that's when I took my journey, and needless to say, my personal interventions didn't stop after having 3 children. So I'm glad I took the path that I did. So that's kind of how my niche started, is through personal experience. And when Kara talked about finding your avatar, sometimes you're like, I don't know what my avatar is. And sometimes if you look within, look at yourself, sometimes your avatar is you or something you've been through that's kind of created your path. So over the years, I've integrated other holistic and alternative complementary interventions into my practice. So I combine the two, and I really take a holistic approach to treating women and pelvic floor dysfunction. I do treat men too, because I do myofascial release. So I treat a lot of chronic pain, movement limitations, and posture. So I do a lot of scoliosis, but my avatar is that woman who is just struggling, either emotionally, physically, whatever's going on in their life. And I went on to become certified in pelvic floor biofeedback, a birth healing specialist, and a postpartum pregnancy exercise specialist, as well as hypopressives. So, and then now I've been doing myofascial for 20 years, so an expert level at that. So that's just a little bit about me, which brought me into my next, how I got into private practice is I was working for a private practice, and it was sold. And at that time I was just getting married. I'm like, I can't be a business owner. And I went to start a practice and took a management position at a big corporation in town. And I found out quickly the constraints of insurance and corporate bureaucracies that I was finally, no, this is not for me. And it wasn't until, and that's what sparked entrepreneurship for me. And it wasn't until I really valued my worth and really decide what I was worth and what I deserved that I finally took the leap. And that was over 3 years ago now. And that's when I opened my cash-based practice. So my cash-based practice is integrative therapies and wellness, where I incorporate the myofascial release, other complementary healing approaches, as well as women's health. And I started it part-time. I started it as a side hustle, and it kind of started out of necessity. I had such a long waiting list at the local outpatient clinic hospital I was at that people would find me on the side and say, hey, will you treat me on the side? Will you treat me at home? I'm like, no, I can't, And finally it happened so much that I was like, why not? So I actually got all my ducks in a row, went through the checklist, all the things that Kara shared, and got all those started and started actually treating on my home. Well, that grew very quickly, and I decided I needed my own practice. So I opened a brick and mortar practice, but it was very hard to find something that was low rent. So I found the best place I could. And then I decided, you know what? I'm going to create a holistic health and wellness collaborative. So I actually, to have very, very low overhead in my cash practice, I leased out the rest of the spaces. And that's when the Healing Hub was born. So the Healing Hub is a holistic health and wellness collaborative where they sublet for me. So I've had naturopath, acupuncturists, neurofeedback, health coaches, physical trainers. So there's multiple different holistic healing. It's like a one-stop shop for healthcare. And it's really, I'm really trying to focus it on more being proactive versus reactive with our health. So that's a little bit on how I got into my personal practices. And then through all my frustration with getting into private practice is where I started diving more into, you know what, I need to share everything that I've learned over the last 5 years throughout all my business coaches and life coaches and books that I've read about business. And I need to share it with other people so they can live the lives that they want. So that is my story into my niche or avatar, and also how I got into private practice. And I was going to add one other thing too. So working as a side hustle, that quickly turned into a full-time gig within a year, and just blew up bigger than I ever imagined it would be. So needless to say, if you've got a very busy life with children, you can start it as a side hustle, and it can quickly turn into something much more than you ever thought it could be.
Yeah, Erin, you turned it into a 6-figure practice in how much time?
I made over 6 figures my first year of my full year. So I opened my practice in June, my brick and mortar, my location. And so from that next January to December, I broke 6 figures, but still worked 20 hours on top of that. So I made 6 figures still working a job. So you can do it much easier than I did. I just couldn't let go of that security blanket or that security net. So that's the first thing I tell people right now is let go of it, because you just bottleneck yourself.
And there was lots of us who tried to get her to let go of it sooner.
Right. You gotta hear things 6 or 8 times, right?
Yep, at least. Oh man. Awesome. Well, thank you, Erin. And we have lots of questions, so I'll have Erin start going through the chat so she can cover your guys' questions. I guess I'm next. Sue, why don't you go next? I'll finish.
Okay, so I'm the old lady in the group. I've been an OT.
Oh, you are not.
I've been an OT for 40 years. This is my second private practice. My first one I started in Australia when I had about 3 years or 4 years experience as an OT, and it was half pediatrics and half workers' compensation adult stuff, and that worked pretty well until I got pregnant and ended up spending 6 months in bed. and I couldn't get anyone to take my practice. So I had to close it down. So then here I am now, after well, God, at this stage, it was many years as an OT, 11 years as a professor, decided I wanted to do that again. And like Cara, I figured I was going to be cash pay. And so I was going to go out and see all these patients and do home modifications, and it was all going to be cash pay. And then I was talking to the chiropractor that had the office in the same building as me, and she said, you realize you can't see covered occupational therapy for patients who have Medicare and charge them cash. And then I went, and so I had to quickly readjust my whole plan, figure out what to do, etc. I do have a brick and mortar office. It's small. I'm sitting in it now, but it does allow me to do treatment. I started off with an even smaller one, just because we didn't want our home address on our business stuff. And my husband was a physician for the VA at the time, so he didn't want our home address available. So that kind of made some changes with that. I have been doing this 4 years now, and it's really developed well, keeping busy. We saw 6 clients today. I see a range not just of seniors with falls, but also I have contracts with Area Agency on Aging, Developmental Disabilities Administration, and I get referrals now from case managers who are used to me handling their complex clients and trying to figure out what to do with them. So developing those relationships, being successful with clients has been really important. I do some mobile Part B. My PhD research was in stroke rehab, so I'm seeing some stroke clients. And as I've been working with home mods, I'm finding a lot of clients have not had their equipment updated and have not been keeping up with things like wheelchairs and poorly fitting wheelchairs, etc. So what I've developed a relationship with a couple of ATPs and been doing wheelchair evaluations as well. My niche I did develop was those who want to continue living well at home, even in the face of challenges. It allows me to be a bit broader. At first, I was like, I just need the money. I'm just going to take any client. And it's something that is stressful when you do that. You know, I have, as an OT for 40 years, treated across pretty much all the broad treatment areas that we have. But I realized you have to specialize to do it well. Like, you have to narrow down your scope. That doesn't mean you can't do a couple of things, but you really need to narrow down that scope and stay within that comfort area that you can do well, because otherwise it's just so draining and stressful. I found to try and deal with a hand therapy patient at the same time as a stroke patient, at the same time as I'm trying to figure out how to put in a platform lift for a patient. I think the key is those relationships in the community and building those relationships. That's what does that. I was at a networking meeting about a year after I started, and I was having a little bit of trouble building a lot of client population. And I was talking to a couple of case managers from DDA, and we were just chatting and discussing what to do. And before I even left the meeting, I got an email from their supervisor in Olympia, the state capital, saying, you need to sign up with us immediately. We have all this work for you. So just those little bits of networking, and that they really did have a lot of work for me. I now cover several counties for them as well, and looking at how to be able to bring that on and using some telehealth even for some remote clients for them as well. So those relationships are really key, and having the opportunity to do that. Cara. Yes, I'm in Washington State, Hannah, yes.
Hello. Okay. Wow, what's that noise? I don't know what's going on. Okay. Sorry, everyone, I don't know what that noise is, if that is really annoying. So a little bit about myself. As I said, I've been an occupational therapist forever, and I've worked in a wide variety of areas, but my passion has always been working with older adults. mean, I worked in the dietary department, the activities department, and everything growing up. And I've spent a lot of time in skilled nursing facilities, transitional care units, and so forth. In 2012, I started teaching in an occupational therapy assistant program, and I still worked PRN at a transitional care unit in a skilled nursing facility, just because I felt it was essential to keep working if I was teaching. And I've always wanted to start my business, but just never really, I mean, how to do it, how to go about doing it, and so forth was just kind of scary. And in fact, for the company I worked for, I started mobile, like Part B practices in a variety of assisted living facilities, like pretty much all of them in our town. And I just get so angry when I think about it, because I'm like, seriously, I could have started those myself instead of starting them for someone else. But in school, we're trained to go out and get a job. We're not necessarily trained to start our business from the start. At least I wasn't way back in the day. And as I started teaching, I really grew as an occupational therapy professional. I really became more client-centered, more occupation-based, and really became aware of how, in a lot of places, we really lacked true good quality occupational therapy services. My students would go out to field work and come back, and they'd be like, they don't do anything like what you teach us. It's all UBE, it's all TheraBand, it's, you know, the same stuff. None of it's occupation-based care. And a few years before I quit, I got so frustrated that because I was also a fieldwork coordinator, academic fieldwork coordinator. So I just posted something on the academic fieldwork coordinator listserv that we need to do something about fieldwork, because we need to have places for our students to go that are client-centered, occupation-based, evidence-based practice. And we started this task force and this and that. And then came along the whole talk when they were going to change like OTAs to be bachelor's level and all that kind of stuff. Well, in that time frame, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my job because our OTA program can't maintain an OTA program. If it moves to a bachelor level, if I want to keep teaching, I need to go get my doctorate. So I went to get my doctorate. And when I was doing my capstone project, I was like, should I do it on starting a business, or should I do it on a program where I work? Well, I started a program for where I worked. I should have did it on the business, but anyways, I still loved the program, but I started this program, and I of course thought it was fabulous. The clients loved it, but it was a client-centered, occupation-based, evidence-based program at the skilled nursing facility. And it was all, I mean, we went on fishing trips, we went to the pumpkin patches, we went to bowling, anywhere, everything. We did crafts, the clients made stuff, they sold it at the facility. You know, it was awesome. And they wanted to continue the program. It was run by occupational therapy assistant students, level 2 field work, along with staff there. And it was great, but it didn't continue because there was no buy-in. And this was where I worked, and I was continually frustrated to go to work and just not seeing anyone else providing the quality of therapy that I wanted it to be provided. And I was also frustrated that this program that we started and got the money for just kind of fell, you know? So that was a big push on, I need to start doing my own thing. And then something kind of fell in my lap. Long story short, I ended up just starting my practice. And when I started, I put this in here because, like I said, my brain is not functioning that great right now. But when I started, I was thinking, well, I'll do birth all the way up, right? And I knew I was going to do a mobile practice because, you know, I didn't want to deal with the clinic and the money and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, maybe some virtual. And I was definitely doing cash because that's all you see on Facebook is everyone doing cash-based practices and how they're the greatest things ever. Then once I got it closer to starting, I still contemplated doing it all. But I mean, it was literally like after I had my business established, I realized that I couldn't be all cash-based for the adult population for a couple of reasons. One, with the regulations, I need to bill anything that is skilled and medically necessary to Medicare. But my population that I serve, I mean, they want to use their Medicare benefits. I don't live in an area that is going to be able to pay me cash. Plus, I really just want to provide the services that the clients need and give them, what their insurance can provide for them as well. So then I realized, okay, now I have to learn Medicare, which was a nightmare. Then after starting, I still contemplated adding on someone to do the pediatric component. And then I finally gave that up and just focused in on the adult population and finally listened to the advice given by my mentors and coaches and so forth. And took in that, what is my clinical expertise? I love working with older adults. I love working with clients with Parkinson's. I love the Parkinson's Wellness Recovery Program certification. If you guys are ever interested in a certification, loved that. I have the Ohio Health Delay the Disease certification for Parkinson's disease, loved that too. I just want older adults to be able to live in the home, not have to go to an assisted living or nursing home and so forth. So I took all of that and just have really focused on that from now on. And I honestly couldn't imagine trying to do anything else. It would just be beyond me with that. So that's kind of my story and how I became to get here. And then just a little side is next level occupational therapy. So I started this home therapy solutions business as a clueless person. I mean, not knowing anything about business, not knowing anything about how to bill insurance. And I was very stubborn, very frugal, wouldn't spend a dime. I made lots of costly mistakes, costly errors. And it wasn't until I had been in my business that I met Aaron at a conference, and we actually joined a mastermind together. And that is when kind of the next level OT became at that mastermind weekend, because I was like, another thing I want to do is show other therapists, and sorry, PTs and speech therapists, but especially occupational therapists, how we can start our own businesses, because we see all these PTs out there doing it, but you didn't see a lot of OTs out there doing it. So that's how the next level OT became. And it really just started as a Facebook group. And then it developed into a visionary membership group. And then when everything started hitting the fan with all the different changes in the nursing home and home health, and therapists started losing their jobs, we're like, we need to do something about this, because we know that these people can start a business and provide better quality care and have a more meaningful and fulfilling life. And we need to help them do that. So that's when our Therapy Business Builder program came. So again, my niche and avatar there, it really started as occupational therapy professionals, but we have OTs, PT, and speech therapists that we help build and start their practice. And my avatar was myself, as well as other therapists that want to start their practice but didn't have a clue how to do it. So we built programs based off of people like me and a lot of you guys on here. So that's a little bit about myself. And let me look in the chat section if I missed anything. I don't know if I missed anything, but if I missed anything, you guys can ask. Sorry, my little fingers are scrolling right along. So I know we all kind of talked, well, I tend to blabble, but we all kind of went through that really quick. We want to show you what we have put together and what we can do to help you guys kind of get where we're at, and how we can help you save your time, save your money, save stress, and increase your confidence. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the 4 levels of, or 4 types of values or perceived values. And that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit next. And we all kind of value one thing more than the other. So we really, and we feel our programs encompass all of these different values. So we're going to talk about functional value, monetary value, social value, and psychological value. So really functional value. When you guys are starting your business, you'll learn that you guys need to become the best problem solvers out there for your avatars and their problems they have. And that's what we try to do with the therapy business builder programs we have. We solve the problems you guys have. A lot of you have no idea how to start and run a business. I shouldn't say this, but did any of you panelists know how to start and run a business before you did? Probably you, Sue, you know it all, but I don't know. I had no clue whatsoever how to do that. Also, a lot of our people in our programs have no time to start and run a business because they are too afraid to let go of their full-time job and start a business and put all their time and energy in it. So with our programs, we take a lot of that, we're able to do a lot so that people are able to start and run their business while they still work on the side. And these are just a few things. I mean, there's tons of problems we feel we solved, but another one is credentialing. I know when I got credentialed with Medicare, you guys, it was a nightmare. I mean, I don't know. I just filled out the application not knowing what I was doing and filled out so many things wrong, and it went back and forth several times. It was a nightmare. And then how to bill insurance and get paid. New regulations that come out. I mean, January 1st, there was lots of new things that came out. Do you know what they are? You know, I mean, I hadn't a clue when I started, but we put together a program of a variety of experts so that we can help solve those problems to make life so much easier. So that's a part of the functional value we feel we can help you guys solve. Monetary value, yeah, our programs cost money because we bring in a lot of experts to help and to give you the tools you need, but it will actually save you money in the long run. So my business coach told me, what have you wanted and what would have you paid? And I'm like, I would have paid thousands of dollars to have someone just set it up and do it for me and make sure I had everything done. So that's what we did. We came together and created a program to give everyone the things that they need and to help avoid costly errors in the long run. Plus, we package everything together. So instead of having to go and do everything separately, it ends up saving you money. Another big thing is we can get you up and started so much faster, so it allows you to make money sooner. And the biggest thing you need to decide is what's more important to you, time or money, because with time, you can do this all yourself. I mean, it took a lot of us a lot of time to get things up and going, but we can streamline that to save your time for more important things and help you guys build this business. Like just our policy and procedure manual, like I think all the hours and hours and hours I spent on that, if I could have just bought that puppy, I would have in an instant. And then to put across the thousands of dollars I paid an attorney to do for it. So yeah, so we took that function, monetary values into account. And I don't know why this is 1 and 2, it should be 3 and 4. Social value. This is probably one thing I hear most, and I know we have some members in our groups here, is the social value. They absolutely love being a part of the network of experts. So like our programs aren't just me, they're not just Sue, they're not just Aaron, they're not just Rachel, they're not just one of us. You know, we have a team of experts to help in all of the different areas to help answer questions. Plus, you know, we now have well over 60 therapists, well, probably over 70 in our new programs now, where we're helping start and build your business. So you're a part and you are able to get to know and develop relationships with them. So you have a good solid group of therapists doing the same thing as you to get that support and encouragement you need. And I always say, do you think one person can build a successful business by themselves? I mean, you need a team and peers to help give you the confidence to start. I mean, yesterday I had a home evaluation, you know, and I sent pictures to our group to get feedback. What ideas do you guys have for this? It's so nice to have someone else because I don't have another therapist sitting next to me charting where I can ask them those questions. And then fourth, psychological value. Our goal is that we will help you guys love what you do again. I don't know, but when you have to work for someone and they tell you you have to see someone for 15 minutes and you know you need to work with them for an hour, or even worse, you have to work with someone for 60 minutes and they're like practically dying. I mean, that's ridiculous. I hate being told what to do when we know it's not right. And when you can start and run your own business, you're going to feel great about that, that you know you're doing the best thing possible for your clients. So we've taken all of those components into play, and we have our therapy business builder programs. And many of you on here probably know about our programs already. And I'm not going to go into super big detail. I'll send you the information and you can reach out to us because we want to make sure we answer some of your questions on here. But our Start and Build Your Therapy Business Builder program is done for you and with you. This is for people who want to start their business and have not done anything yet. So we work with an attorney to get your business established within your state, following the rules and regulations. Then we help you get credentialed with the insurances. We provide your policies and procedures, all your forms, your logo, your help you with your website. We have weekly trainings. Like today we had a Q&A session and a training. Next week we have mentor sessions, and it's your EMR is included. We have billing included. Everything you need is included in this package. And that's $9,999. And we break it out for you guys. I mean, it's worth way, 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 way more than that. Plus it's a business deduction and you can't deduct your time. But anyways, that's our biggest program. We are starting our fifth cohort already, February 2nd. We only have 5 spots left for this, and then we'll be full because we're only taking 10 at a time. We tried taking more and that it's just too much. So we're only taking 10 and we already have 5 filled because we had people sign up early. Our Build Your Therapy business is basically like the first one, except for it doesn't include the done for you part pieces. Because some people come in and they already have established their business within their state. They might have already done their credentialing. They already have their logo. You know, they don't need help with some of that stuff. So that one is $5,999. So those are our biggest programs that we have. But we have found over the last year and so that there are, and I saw some people out there that would fit this. We do have people that just want to start a cash only practice. Because once you get into insurance, that adds many more components to it. So Erin and Alicia, who you both saw are amazing, they started our cash-based therapy business builder program just this week, and they're doing a special beta group price on that. And they do have a few spots left, I think. You'll have to tell me, Erin. But that's a new program that we just started because if you're doing a cash-based practice and you don't need some of that higher level insurance type stuff, and it's a 12-week program and so forth, and is amazing as well. And we'll get you all that information on that. And then our last and final kind of bigger program is our Home Safety and Modification Business Builder program. And I will tell you, my coaches are on my butt because we have all these programs and how do people know what to do? Well, I will personally go through all the different programs and make sure you find the best program for you, because we want you to be successful and have the program that fits what you want and fits your avatar. But the Home Safety and Modification Business Builder program actually started last May, and it started rather quickly. Sue and I were on a meeting, and I happened to hear some things, some misunderstandings, and I'm like, Sue, we need to help people learn how they can start a home safety and modification business using a hybrid approach. Because if you want to work with older adults that are Medicare, there are going to be times and places that you're going to need to bill Medicare. And yes, there's going to be plenty of times when you can do cash for this type of business, but there are going to be times when you need to bill Medicare. And AOTA came out with a great paper in January that you should check out. But Sue's amazing. She pretty much does it all in this course. But this is designed specifically for those that want to do a home safety and modification business. And we really design it for those that have kind of the business stuff already developed, and then you get all of these additional trainings. But it is also like an add-on. So when we first started, we had several people that did our therapy business builder program, and then you can add on the home safety and modification business builder if you want after that. And then last or not least is where Rachel and Chelsea come in. We love to collaborate with experts in the areas that offer so much value to our clients. And Rachel does an amazing job with the Skills to Care program. And she's been gracious enough to offer a great discount. So people that are in our therapy business builder program can add on the Skills to Care program. So if you want to have a practice where you're working with clients with dementia and you're helping caregivers, you can add on the Skills to Care program for $1,400, and the Skills to Care program is normally $2,000. So, and I took the Skills to Care certification in May, and it's awesome, and I love it. And I think any client with dementia and their caregiver should go through this program, because just in the short amount of time I've been certified in it, and the clients that I've worked with, I mean, it's made a huge impact for them. So super excited to collaborate with Rachel on that. And then Chelsea is beyond expert in tons of different areas, but she's developed an amazing Falls Guard program. And this is an add-on for anyone in our programs as well. If you want to specialize in falls prevention, you're able to add this on. And both of these are available separate too. So you can definitely support them separately as well. But we keep trying to bring more options for the people within our programs to help you guys get what you need. Like today, Sue and I met with a company that wants to partner with us to offer the people in our programs a discount with some of the things that they do. So we keep trying to bring these programs to help you guys be able to do what we're doing cost effectively and have the support there, because we're all therapists. And, you know, there are great programs in the community. I mean, like SCORE is amazing, all of those. And I recommend everyone do all those programs, but there's nothing like having other therapists that are doing the thing help you do that thing as well. So why don't we, Erin, do you want to go a little bit more over the cash-based program?
Yeah, I'd love to. So really the cash-based program is it's a 12-week step-by-step guide to launch your solo out-of-network business. With our goal is to have you have paying clients by the end of the 12 weeks, whether you're going to be a side gig or going all in. And I say out-of-network because that doesn't mean it's just cash. You can give them a super bill and they can self-submit it and get reimbursed by their insurance. So that's why we call it out-of-network, because it can be solo cash where you're like, nope, I don't do that, or they can self-submit it under the right circumstances. And it's kind of in 3 phases. It's about taking action with confidence, where we really want to set the groundwork, because when you go from working for someone and billing insurance to having to take cash from someone, it's a whole different feeling. So we do a lot of dive in on mindset and really finding what your worth is and really laying down a solid foundation. And then going everything from starting to picking your name to getting your LLC, your EIN, all those things that Kara talked about, the checklist. We take you through all of that, and the program is really heavy on accountability, and support. So we walk you through every step of the way, and then we get into your systems of accounting, tax, goals, business plan, budgeting, policies, and then we get into sharing your niche, which is, creating your offer, generating leads, networking, workshops, webinars, social media, testimonials, all of that stuff in the 3rd phase. And our goal with this is to get you into a business at the lowest overhead possible. So yeah, there might be a little bit more work, but because it's not done for you like the business builder program is, but it all kind of depends on what kind of business you want and the time that you have to spend doing it. But we've paved the path. We've taken all of the knowledge that we've had over with our coaches and all the books we've read and all the courses we've taken, and we've bundled it into this little streamlined 12-week program, so you can have all the pieces that you absolutely need just to get started. And our biggest thing is, business is lonely, and not having the support, like when all of us started, do you remember spinning your wheels and feeling like, I can't do this because these resources weren't out there? And it was so frustrating. That's when Kara and I met at that conference. We're like, So that is the program in a nutshell. So it's a lot of accountability with us using accountability systems, Facebook groups, providing the support that you need along the way, the encouragement, and also getting a business journal and resources and templates and scripts. And in the program, you get 12 training modules that are quick videos that you can get on the Kajabi app as well. And anytime this program is updated, you're going to get the updates for free for life as well. The program started on Monday, and we have 4 spots left. So we're going to close it this Friday. So if you want to get into it, we want to close it Friday because we don't want you to get in too far behind because it has started. It's $2,997, and that's for the 12 weeks. Excuse me, I obviously have something in my throat. So just message us if you want. Kara, you having people email you if they want the links, or?
Yep, and I'll send, so after this gets done, everyone that's on here will get an email with the startup plan or the startup checklist, the business plan, the links for the program, my email, and so forth. So, and again, we'd love to jump on a phone call with you because, and help you trying to figure out where you need to be and so forth as well. So, but yeah, I'll share all the links for all the programs, because on our website, and I think I can now, not having 2 screens is really throwing me for a loop. Let's see here. Am I even sharing anything now? I don't think so. I'll show you guys here. Okay, let me try to share my screen again. Share screen. Share screen. Okay. So nextlevelot.com/therapy business builder programs. You can click here to meet the team. It does need to be updated. You can click here to meet the different therapists who are building their businesses. No, not here, not there. But this is where it breaks it out, like what's in every program, and it goes over all the prices. We're not going to be hiding what the prices are or whatever. We do have an application for the 1-year mastermind for a therapy business builder program. But all of these are set up so it goes through who it's for, what's the outcome, what's included, what's the value. They're all there. Also, I'd encourage you guys to listen and what different programs you can add on, and you don't have to add it on now. You can add things on later because sometimes we get to be doing too much. But I would really encourage you guys to go listen to the people that are in our program. I mean, they tell it better than anyone, and talk about where they're at and what they've done and so forth. And there's videos, some just write testimonials, but they're all over the different websites. So go check those out. And under products, under Therapy Business Builder, you'll find our main, the Start and Build and the Build Your Therapy Business, and then the Home Safety, and then the Cash-Based Therapy Business Builder, and it goes through all of that as well. So, and Sue, why don't you, I'll pop this up really quick. Sue really has covered about everything you can imagine in the home safety program. You want to touch?
And feel free, because we have 3 or so videos at the front that give a pretty good explanation of some of the stuff there that you're welcome to go watch. We give you things how to start yourself there. But as you go down and look at what we're actually offering, we're looking up how to set up your business, the kind of business, what happens at, what constitutes something that's covered under Medicare, what doesn't, some of the legislation and legal implications, how to create that hybrid approach, and included as well is the policies and procedures manual for Medicare. We do a whole section on marketing, setting up your Facebook page, working with area agency on aging, all of those kinds of things. Then we go into really in-depth, getting your credentialing, how to do that with Tony's great courses on understanding billing Medicare, putting some of the process in place when you do that for Medicare. Then some of the tools, how to read a floor plan, what to do for your first visit, what to do after your first visit, what to do before you get set up. Also telehealth, because telehealth is something that's getting more important now. Then how to document that, and how to bill. What does that look like? We have links and stuff for different kinds of software to make that whole documenting process easier and more time efficient and consistent with quality, which is really key. We've looked at different kinds of things like Magic Plan, where we map out and plan some of the changes that we're looking at making, and how that all fits into what you do. Then we look at how to fund or get your clients home modifications paid. And I think, Cara, you need to do another one now, because you've just managed to get 3 grants?
I know, yeah. Some $2,500 one, the $6,800 one, and I'm working on a couple others right now. So
yeah, absolutely. So you've been doing some great things there. And then we've added a whole lot of different educations on specific populations, what to do. So we just had one last week on low vision with a therapist from the KCI Institute in Portland at OHSU. We've got one coming up, Rachel and I, with on dementia. I did one on developmental disabilities and workers' compensation. We've got one coming up on what to do if it's a rental home, how to put emergency plan in place with your clients with disabilities. So those are definitely all things that will help you be able to build your business and be able to manage what you're doing. With that, of course, there's the coaching calls monthly. There's the Next Level Visionary membership, which is valuable. Some of the trainings, and the private Facebook group, which is where Cara and I have been posting, here's things that we found, here's things that, how would you solve this problem? What kinds of equipment we've done. So all those kinds of things are there.
yeah, it's a great value. So, and yeah, lots of very helpful stuff. And last but not least, let me see, is Chelsea, are you still here? You're still awake?
I don't know how I am still awake.
First, sometimes you just need to yell at me, because I'm not always thinking the best. So Do you want to talk a little bit more about like your Falls Guard program?
Sure. We created some programming for working with assisted living facilities. I do a lot of work directly with ALF, and it's been really wonderful because I can access a fair amount of clients, and I can really get to know the staff and get to know the milieu and the culture of the ALF, and then really make substantial changes. And so really I find that clinicians want to know, like, how do I get into an ALF, and what can I do if there are already clinicians in the ALF, which is a very common thing. So we have this program called Fall Guard, and it's a fantastic program because it is adaptable to both home and also the assisted living, but it was built off of the ALF model. So it helps people to prevent falls and also investigate why falls are happening. So I have a screening tool that we have developed for 2 different scenarios. And it really allows people to be able to use this evidence-based tool to show their value. Because at the end of the day, a lot of us have a hard time with presenting and walking into an assisted living and convincing someone why they should go with you. This is one of those tools that shows your quality. We use CDC recommended. Our tools are based off of CDC guidelines. They're evidence-based from both medical, nursing, and rehab journals. We basically create a flow chart for people to be able to utilize to implement ALF level interventions, and then when to recommend therapy. I went to CARE initially because I was struggling so much, and when I had built this program, and it was a way to be able to get what I would consider ethical referrals. There was so many people that were doing these free screens in assisted livings, and I really struggled with that because I felt like it was really an unethical way to drum up business, and maybe I had just watched it play out super unethically, so that was really hard. So Fall Guard is a fantastic way to teach the CNAs and the nurses at ALFs how to prevent or how to prevent falls at a very basic level, and also to know when to consult therapy and what our role really is in relationship to fall prevention, and then fall investigation so that we can prevent further falls. So, we also have the tool is also applied in a different context to PCPs and can be used. So we've set up fall prevention programs with PCPs that they use as annual screening tools, which is really cool because then we get to go in and consult with primary care physicians to really help increase with the community. So it's been super fun. The program is on Facebook. We use Facebook. We use Trello boards. We have live sessions, recorded videos. I have activities so people go through to investigate their marketing, go through and identify stakeholders, identify competitors, and then we really teach people with scripts how to go in and be able to get your first meeting at an ALF using the Fall Guard program, and to be able to what to say for when someone else might have a clinician that's already in. So these are really, really nice ways for when I hear clinicians, and I also get that uncomfortable feeling myself when I don't know what to say, that you're able to have these quick lines and these checklists and these lists of things to do before you get there, so that you're prepared for when you walk into these meetings and you can show your value, because that's really what it's about. So.
And what I'm sharing on the screen is just a little tiny tidbit. So I was able to go through Chelsea's Fall Guard program, and she provides these great sources. So this is just part of a little presentation that I have for some PCP providers that I work with. So yeah, she has lots of great things that she's put together there. So, oh, wow. We've covered a lot of information, and it is after 10 for Chelsea and all of you guys on the East Coast. So, and I'm sitting here with my blanket. Anyway, low key here tonight, everyone. if you guys have any specific questions, you know, feel free to post them here. But again, you know, we're all pretty cool. You can reach out to us, ask us questions. My email is kara@nextlevelot.com. I can, you know, get you to whoever you need to talk to. If you have questions for me on where you need to go. And also, you guys, I mean, there are so many people in our next level world that take our startup checklist, they join our visionary membership group, and they do their own thing over a couple years. I mean, there's lots of ways to do it. We just created these programs for people like us because we knew how much it would have helped us. So we're excited to be able to help others. So yeah, reach out. We'll try to get everything sent out as soon as possible here so you have that. And yeah, any last minute questions? Awesome. That's great to hear, Valerie. Thank you, Carol. Appreciate it. Yes. Bye, Chelsea. She's already gone. Or East Coasters, it gets late. Awesome. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you, panelists. And again, look out for your email. It might go to your spam. Check your email and reach out if you have any questions. So have a fabulous night, everyone. Thank you.